Use the link in the description to order the rear axle bearing and rear axle seal that are used in the video on the CarParts.com website. Turn your engine off and set the parking brake. Pull on the hood release handle and open the hood. Open the brake fluid reservoir. Loosen the wheel lug nuts on the rear wheels. Lift the rear of your vehicle. We strongly suggest watching our video on how to jack your Ram 1500 safely before carrying out this step. Place the vehicle on the jack stands. To change the rear axle bearings and seals on your vehicle, you must remove the wheels for full access. Don't forget to put the wheels under the vehicle. Now you need to remove the brake system. To do so, we recommend watching our video, How to Replace the Rear Brakes Dodge Ram 1500. We show you how to remove the brake caliper, brake pads, and brake discs if you decide to change them. The rear bearing is behind the rear axle shaft. Therefore, you must remove it. To do so, we recommend watching our video, How to Replace the Rear Axle Shaft Dodge Ram 1500. You now have access to the rear axle seal and to the rear axle bearing. Hey, it's Alex from CarParts.com. If you enjoyed this video and want to support us, like, comment, and subscribe. Okay, back to work. Use a small crowbar to lever off the rear axle seal and extract it from its housing. You can now see the rear axle bearing. In order to remove the rear axle bearing, you must have the proper equipment, which in this case is a bearing removal tool. Insert the moving part behind the bearing. Then using the bolt, press the washer on the outer part of the bearing to lock the tool. Secure the tool on a slide hammer, then extract the rear axle bearing by tapping with the slide hammer. Before fitting the rear axle bearing back on, you must clean the seal surface to ensure it is completely impermeable. Remove the used seal with a razor blade. Finish with brake cleaner and wipe with a paper towel. Use the link in the description to order the rear axle bearing that is used in the video on the CarParts.com website. Attention! The bearing must be inserted properly. Ensure that you are inserting the side of the bearing that is more rounded on the differential side. The shape of this side facilitates insertion. Place the new rear axle bearing in its position. Then use a bearing installation tool and a hammer to drive the bearing all the way to the stop in its position. Use the link in the description to order the rear axle seal that is used in the video on the CarParts.com website. Then fit the rear axle seal into its position. Use the bearing installation tool and the hammer to finalize the installation. If you want to know which tools and parts we use in this video, just check the description and you'll find everything you need. You must now put the rear axle shaft back in place. To do so, we recommend watching our video, How to Replace the Rear Axle Shaft Dodge Ram 1500. You must also replace the differential fluid in the differential. To do so, we recommend watching our video, How to Change the Differential Fluid Dodge Ram 1500. Replace the brake system. To do so, we recommend watching our video, How to Replace the Rear Brakes Dodge Ram 1500. Then you will be able to put the wheels back on your vehicle. Put the car back on the ground and block the wheels properly. Don't forget to screw the brake cap fluid back on before starting the car. Attention! Before using your vehicle again, start your car and pump the brake pedal a few times to push the brake pads together again. Operation complete.